Right. Once again, thanks, Max, aka Dr. Lee, aka founder CEO of OORT CAD. So seriously, feel like he brings mini Colombia to Taipei, right? But seriously, very good pace, very good content, just a brilliant speaker. So thanks again. No, Max. All right. So next one, we have a lot of still heavyweight speakers. We're gonna have a panel. So Alex, please. Yep, next panel, we're going to discuss something, so still AI-related topics, and this one will be moderated by Blues from Google Cloud. So where's Blues? And then let's invite Dr. Lee again, Max, as one of the panelists. And Chong, where's Chong? Founding partner of Hive Ventures. Hive Ventures is actually one of the best AI fund from Taiwan, invest in the world, you know? And next one, Tiffany. Hi. Yeah, Tiffany is representing Zero Gravity Labs. Huge project in Silicon Valley as well. And Leo, where's Leo? Head of Ecosystem My Network, our brilliant portfolio. And Jason, where are you? Big guy. All right. Jason from Datagram, from the CEO. Welcome. So, guys, sorry, I just have one mic, so Bruce, it's all yours.
Thank you very much. So I'm really pleasure to have me, having a panel with this all really good project. And so my name is Blues. So I will be the moderator for today. I really appreciate Comma3 and OORT to invite you. Since Max just sharing what's the decentralized AI, but instead Google as a more centralized, but in the same way we are actually totally into decentralized stuff. So this is really exciting for me to ask some questions for our panelists for today. So I would like to one by one to maybe have an audience better understand what you're doing, what's your project, and maybe just highlight maybe 3 minutes. Maybe Max, you just share who you are. Maybe
Hi, so I'm John from Hive Ventures. So we're actually more of a Web2 fund. So myself, I'm actually a founder. So I did found a company in AI and data a long time ago. We exited on NASDAQ in 2017. And then we set up a fund in Taiwan. So we invest mainly in data infrastructure, AI applications in Taiwan and Southeast Asia and South Asia as well.
Hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm the VP of Ecosystem at ZRG Foundation. We are an infrastructure company, EVM compatible, that is building infrastructure for AI to be able to be fully on chain. So we have 3 specific products that we have: data storage, data availability, and also inference that we're allowing to be fully on chain. We recently launched really early this year in March. Now we're on testnet, had a note sale, and then a fundraising announcement a few months ago. And we're really excited to kind of further that in the AI space. A little background of myself. I used to be at Avalanche, so it was great. Me and Leo are actually working colleagues before Zero G, and I'm also the conference lead for Taipei Blockchain Week. So we're hopefully we can see you all tomorrow at the conference as well.
Okay, thank you guys. So thanks to OORT and Comma3 Ventures again for hosting this amazing events. So this is Leon from My Network, and I'm leading the ecosystem side. So we're talking about My Network. So we are building the FHE AI infra for all the projects. So one thing, the underlying project, underlying tech is called the FHE, another encryption tech, ZK or TEE. And our scenario is applying into AI. So later I will show more details about it. So very pleasure to be here. Thank you guys.
Hey guys, my name is Jason. I am from Datagram, and we are building a full-service Ethernet network that is designed to be massively scalable. Right now, it's used for real-time RPC communications across UDP, but we're building out in a lot of different directions as well. And I'm very happy to be here to talk about AI with all of you guys.
passing the active long journey. So thank you very much. So since Max, you just share your point of view, what's decentralized AI is. But I think there could be a different point of view from the other companies, especially for VC and DP perspective. So I would like to ask, maybe you can share what's your vision, what are you currently building, and I mean, the most important, what are you solving the problem? What look at from this point of view? Maybe I will start from.
Okay, I'm not building anything because I'm not invention. Okay, yeah. Well, I think for VC, I mean, we don't focus a lot on blockchain, but we do a lot of AI data infrastructure. So we usually invest in early stuff, data infrastructure, a lot of all the underlying technologies for data, so like data processing, data lakes, data cleansing, and all this stuff. But I think for AI, I think we will talk about decentralization and centralization of AI. I think that is coming into a view these days. I think decentralization and blockchain, we're starting to look more at that. I think previously there wasn't big enough of a case or market to look at blockchain. So we focused a lot more on the rising data infrastructure in the US, like the IPOs of Silicon driving all this innovation. I think going forward, the need for decentralization will depend a lot, I guess, on data, right? So I think Professor talked a lot about data. Without availability of data, you can't actually do anything in AI. And that's probably what is kind of missing in decentralization. There's a lot of chains right now, and there's a lot of silos, and there's no actually place to actually get a lot of data in order to move forward into the decentralized AI. And of course, right now everyone knows that Google, Facebook, and Web2, they control all the data. It's in silos now, and with that, like I mean, my first company is obviously in big data too. We have a lot of trouble collecting data. I think with the open blockchain world, there's a lot of anyone can go on the Ethereum blockchain and get all the data, right? But then you need to go on Solana and get all that data too. So I think there needs to be compatibility between these technologies when they are on chains, and I guess for us, we're just kind of waiting for that market to develop, because us as the VCs, we also have a timeline. We need to exit within 5 years or 7 years. I can't say, I'm going to invest in this and then wait for like 10 years. So it's something that we are closely following right now for developments in decentralization.
So I think our point of view from ZOG is very, very close to what Max is at OORT, mainly because we want AI to be decentralized, mainly so that it can be used for the public good. I think right now it's like an inflection point already, talking about the topic of where is the breaking point. The breaking point is here, pretty much here already, because with AI, right now it's just a few entities, OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, it's all these big entities trying to kind of owning all this data and kind of having all this technology moving so fast. I think right now is the key point where we need to have the right alignment for decentralized AI so that smaller players can come in, be incentivized to play in the space and be able to kind of collaborate together to create an infrastructure that is possible for everything to be built on chain. And then I think that's what Zero is trying to do, creating an AI operating system so that we provide the infrastructure, but we need a lot of these partners that we work with to kind of build on top of that and create all the different technologies and tools that makes it all possible.
Thanks for the sharing. I think especially like Dr. Max here just shared with us a little, which about the problem of existing or traditional AI. So for us, we're building the application infrastructure. We're trying to literally solve the equation problem, like the data storage or data leakage, things like that. Because all of the times here, like ZeroG, they're running the very efficient AI blockchain and DFT services, and all OORT also provide the decentralized storage. But one thing we can have the other value is how to make it much more secure, much more comprehensive, to provide general service for all. That's one thing. And another thing is that we're talking about traditional AI and decentralized AI. One thing is that blockchain or crypto emerging out. So one thing, traditional, they cannot bring revenue or bring benefits to every retail user. But I think in decentralized AI, this is possible. Not possible, but it's necessary, because we need to onboard more users to join the game. Because chat is one thing. Another thing is about the community, about the Hive. It's about how do you guys onboard more users, more communities or more like, kind of participants in your circle as much as possible. So we got a tech, we got a solution, especially in AI chat that really hype right now. So another thing that we want to do more is that to get more retail users, no matter control their data, to data hub, like we have development solution or their kind of program. We also do the same thing. Yeah, thanks.
I very much agree with just about everything Dr. Mike said back there, so that was pretty solid. I think one of the things that's really important when we look at deep-end deployments, specifically when it interfaces with decentralized AI, is the degree of decentralization that the deep-end actually represents. One of the big problems that exists in the deep-end space right now is a lack of the correct incentives to push real decentralization. You know, you look at a lot of these quote-unquote node networks and things like that, and what you end up with is a whole bunch of people running a whole bunch of the same pieces of hardware in the same fucking data center, excuse me. And it's not actually decentralized, right? And so building a real decentralized system for real decentralized AI has to use a large number of machines across a large geographic area, which brings it to, you know, it brings latency as a concern and things like that. But it's something that I think that we're going to be solving here, and it's something that we're working on really hard at Datagram. So.
Okay, thank you very much. I think each of panelists shared their point of view and what's the benefit of decentralized AI jumping to the next era. But I'm personally quite curious about, some users, they don't really care about decentralized AI, but more towards human experience, right? So like some people really care about privacy and security when it comes to decentralized AI world. But what do you think that decentralized AI can actually play its role into play to impact the industry or which area they really the most? Next.
Yes. So let me share something with you guys. So when we talk to our clients, so you know that when we talk to our clients, these AI companies, let them to use our services, like say OORT storage for their data, decentralized data storage. We say our cost is low, and we can protect your data privacy, your security, blah blah blah. We should take good stuff from decentralization, right? But you know what? What they ask me in return is, okay, tell me what's your performance compared with the Google and the Amazon. So that's their the highest priority basically, because their system or their products are running on Google and Amazon, right? So yes, you have your privacy advantage, you have your security advantage, but they care about their clients. They want to make sure that the infrastructure change or whatever will not make any bad impact on their customer experience. So the first question they care about is like, do you have the same performance as Amazon? If you do, let's talk. Then you say, oh, I can save you money, I can give you privacy. Yeah, that's cool. But if you're not offering me the same performance as Amazon, I will stay with Amazon. You can go away. So that's our conversation with our clients. I think that's real, because we are running real business and we understand our clients. I think that's not only our problem, that's a problem for the whole Web3 space, right? So when you talk with any Web3 company, their starting point is always privacy, low cost, access to massive computing powers, massive storage capabilities. But so what? They care about the performance. The performance means what? The SLA. The SLA means three stuff: availability, reliability, and latency. If you cannot offer the same SLA with Google and Amazon, you can leave. So that's the conversation. So I think decentralized AI, I would say, is the right domain, and that's the future. But we should realize that there's a long way to go, because if you want to achieve the similar performance with this decentralized infrastructure or cloud in the decentralized way, from tech perspective, this is super challenge.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I get it. I mean, I just want to thank you for that because, I mean, we invest a lot into B2B software, and that's exactly what happens, right? So, especially if you're a startup, you go to customers and say, oh, let me replace your whole data infrastructure. I mean, of course, one, they ask, like, are you going to be here in 5 years? Like, do you have enough money to survive? Right? And the second is, like, what's your comparison to, say, Databricks or you know, some Snowflake or something else? It's a very hard sell as a startup. And I think, I mean, decentralized AI, going forward, there are a lot of benefits to decentralized AI. I mean, with advances in edge technology, I mean, you can do federated learning, right? You can do a lot of things with AI that it's very hard to do with decentralized AI. But of course, you gotta look at both sides. I mean, there are a lot of downsides to decentralized AI. The technology is much harder. There's overhead and latency. There's a lot of overhead and resources too. And I guess it depends on each businesses, right? Some businesses, I mean, you could say that everyone's going to decentralized AI, but then sometimes just using a centralized AI is better. It's kind of like a database, right? Why should I store my stuff on blockchain? I can just use it by SQL right here. So some people is like, oh, because blockchain is cool now, so I'm just going to put all my stuff on blockchain. And that I'm better, right? I'm better than everyone else. So it depends a lot on use case and what we look at in business. Obviously, because we are VCs, we need to grow the company. We need to look at something that would happen in the next 5 years. It can't be like something that happens 10 years, 20 years from now. And we need to see that market traction and the adoption is beginning. And then you're telling me that, you know, large corporates, large enterprises around the world, I mean, they're testing out blockchain now, but they're not really they're not going to put like a decentralized system as the backbone of their new technology. That's not going to happen probably for at least 3-5 years. And that, I mean, of course, I think that is coming, but it just takes time for this kind of adoption to happen.
Yeah, I agree. I think right now we're still really early in the space, but I think in that sense, I think what Zero-G tries to solve that by having modular technology or being able to kind of process things separately to solve for that latency or issue with the speed and comparisons, right? So I think that is at the first level, and obviously, as Dylan said, then we have to compare the TAC, the cost, and also solve for that. With also, I think the long-term vision is always selling the vision as it was in the industry because of these issues that we're seeing with the biases and misuse. And when that day comes, when it's coming, that where the AI is being used to make big decisions, and we want to make sure that there is no bias happening there, right? So a lot of that is kind of future planning, but also solving these really big problems
Cool. Thanks to this question. I think it's very much to what we are building right now. So we're talking about privacy and data security. I want to divide it into 3 key components. One is called data leakage, the problem, right? One is called data ownership. The third is about the data kind of fairness. So according to this kind of 3 key problems, we also got our 3 use cases for our solutions to solve this kind of problem. The first one for data leakage. I mean, no matter in traditional AI or in decentralized AI, so like Algonet or Azure, when they put your data into this GPU doing the calculation, every data owner, every kind of their clients will worry about whether their data will get leaked or by the others. This one current problem, right? What average chip can do is that they can put the data into the GPU calculation without leakage. That's how we achieve that through the average chip. That's point 1. Point 2 about the data ownership. I mean, we also know that when you guys using the ChatGPT, using Google Gemini, something like that, or any AI agents, I mean, it's not about your kind of IP, your ownership. I mean, your every searching, every kind of results are also your data ownership. But in the past, you also will be worried about this. If this info get catched by others, so people who will get started to know more about you, that's one problem. What we are doing right now is that we can also encrypt your data. You are searching kind of records behind the thing, which means you just use that. Your data will not get leaked. That's about data ownership, which I think some of the past panelists also mentioned before. The third is about data fairness. This is more like the 2B business model. I mean, in AI, in blockchain, in AI world, each kind of, I mean, when you guys doing the AI model training or inference, they need to be on-chain. On-chain means votes. Every transaction is a kind of vote. But on-chain is transparent, right? Others can follow your kind of voting results, on-chain transactions, to follow you to do votes, which is not fair. That's the problem right now. We also use the LHC to encrypt the voting process based on this scenario. That's called, data training or data kind of fairness. That's how we solve the problems. Also including the privacy and security. Okay, thank you.
I think one of the things that's really important when you consider this, when you consider some of the problems that have to be solved, specifically in terms of latency and distribution and creating the broader network. I think the solve at the end of the day is massive DeepIn. It's going to be how we can get DeepIn nodes and nexuses in absolutely everything that we encounter. In my past life, my previous position was as president of blockchain at Gala. And one of the things that we did that I was very, very proud of was the fact that today, right now, 85% of all the DHT routing traffic that goes through IPFS is running through Gala nodes. And that's not a thing most people know. But it made IPFS massively more performant because, massively scaled the number of DHT nodes that were available for the network to use. And I think that when we get to AI and decentralized AI and decentralized inference and all of these things, I mean, what you guys are doing at OORT, I looked at your stuff, it's solid, I like it, it's very cool, we should do something. I think that the answer to that is how broad and how big can we make the network. Because you're going to have a latency issue if you have 5,000 nodes out there, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 nodes, because there's billions of people all over the world. But if we turn every single device that we have into something that's capable of performing some form of inference or contributing to calculations or contributing to managing that data in a safe and secure way, no blockchain is ever going to be as fast as MongoDB, and no decentralized system is ever going to be as fast as AWS, but we can get damn close, I think.
Thank you very much. I personally learned a lot from the panelists sharing what's your content and what's your insight. I'm especially quite interested in the performance versus the decentralized part. So what do you think of the trade-off? I'm quite resonate when Max sharing about if you're going to share, ask your customer to adopt your solution, you're going to at least compete with their, performance. So what's your strategy and what's your approach to talking to your customer right now? I'm quite curious about this part. Maybe is that maybe VC point? We can ask the other question from the project. Yeah. Because it's all about adoption rate, right?
I covered a little bit. I think our modular approach is the way we kind of solve that problem. That's kind of how our team is divided.
Yeah, I can answer this question based on our kind of perspective, right? So we're talking about a trader. It's really depending on what's the role you're playing in this crypto, right? I mean, for the 2B business, for 2C business, that kind of different view about this question. For our 2B clients, they focus more on efficiency, they focus more on their kind of competency, they focus more on their maybe their returns. That's based on their interview. And for the 2C users, they focus more on the smooth, the user journey, something like that. That's one angle, depending on who you are your target users. And another thing is about, I think it's not just a 0 or 1 problem, it's that kind of, they are merging, right? When we talk about Web 2 or 3, actually we also have Web 2.5, right? So in this middle kind of space, you can both have the traditional function, also get a Web 3 function where a decentralized way to solve this kind of problem. That's point 2. And third thing is about, choosing what to do is far more important than choose to do what. So this is based on some cases where we just study, because when those kind of projects, they want to enter the decentralized way from traditional way to decentralized way, they may be facing maybe the kind of efficiency problem or kind of transaction speed or TBS problem. So when they ask you this kind of question, we should ask them back, what kind of components do you really want to put into Web3, like a Web3 way? So after you receive this question, right, you will know what kind of programs you really need to do that. Not for all. If you do all, it's like you can never go back so easily. So that's how we think about this question. So trade-off always got two sides. So find your own problem and find the balance between you and your clients. Yeah, thank you.
I think one of the things that's really interesting when we start to look at dealing with customers is the expectation that a customer or a client has. There are certain clients that, low latency, high speed is very important, but the average consumer, just needs something that works. And one of the things that we've done that I really, really like is that there are several million users right now who are using decentralized Web3 infra on Datagram that have no idea that they're using decentralized Web3 infra on Datagram. They're just using it because it just works. And there's a whole B2B and then B2C component that's built in there. And I think that when we talk to clients, when I talk to potential users about what it would be like to integrate this as a substrate for their DePIN network to depend on, the conversation, we obviously don't start off with, oh, by the way, it's probably not going to be as fast as AWS, because that's not a great selling point. But what I find is that in many cases, it's not actually necessary, because very few applications actually push things to that level. And obviously then there's other engineering solutions that we can use to kind of get closer to that depending on the specific implementation. But that's been my experience in terms of talking to people about decentralized inference and just people in general.
Okay, I think I really learned a lot. So I think it comes to, although I got a lot of questions myself, but I think we can live on to maybe offline. So it will be my last question, and it's about future, right? And we all know that you share, from John's perspective, you share, hey, we should be patient because the great project was gonna be lab where a lot of people need to be adopted. And some people say, oh, we should wait for when the performance is gonna be resolved in a certain day in the future. But I am quite curious, what do you think the people should expect in 2025? Or maybe you could say, oh, maybe it could take longer, 2026, 2027, whatever. But what do you think that people should look at and people should be aware of? And something that you think maybe something that could be a game changer in the next year or in a couple, 2 or 3 years. Yeah, have you from the Max?
Very good question. So actually, many questions many people asked this question to me before, and you know that I'm also a Forbes contributor, and I wrote an article like a week ago about. I think that the title is the 2025 will be the year of AI and the crypto. So why I want to say it. Before I came to Taipei, I stayed in Silicon Valley for quite a while because I was invited to give a talk at Stanford University about AI stuff, and I visited lots of VCs and AI startups and companies in Silicon Valley. As I said, it's the hub of AI, right? So I can tell that from every single aspect of our life, there's a bunch of AI startups in Silicon Valley. So lots of very super brilliant ideas. You don't see their products yet, but you're going to see their products very soon in 2025. So I would say that's why I said 2025 will be the year of AI, right? And plus, Donald Trump will win the presidential election, right? So and he's very bullish and supportive about crypto stuff, right? So I think, and also AI and the crypto is by nature is a very perfect combination. So there's lots of synergies between the two. They are not isolated or separate stories. You can wisely combine the two concepts and build lots of nice stuff. So and for each of the topics, the big environment is very supportive on both AI and the blockchain in the coming year, and the combination of the two by nature will be create tons of potential opportunities basically. So that's why I said my expectation is like 2025 will be the year of AI and crypto.
Okay. Well, I guess I have similar views. Yeah, so I'm from US obviously, and then Silicon Valley. Worked at Silicon Valley for 7 years. I mean, Donald Trump being our president or my president is, I guess it's good. I don't really like it, I guess, but but it's good for crypto. I think him being there, and there'll be more regulations coming up. But in terms of AI, I mean, we look at a lot of AI and data infrastructure. AI has been, I guess, the focus of investment in the past, 2 years or so. A lot of money has gone to AI. Yeah, we screened out a lot of AI companies, and it's flowing into every single vertical of your life. Yeah, there are going to be a lot of more tools coming out that help you in your everyday life. And I think a lot of the investment, I mean, NVIDIA has shot up, right? It's done really well this past year. A lot of the investment actually has gone into AI hardware in the past, like right now. So, I mean, I just got back from Malaysia, talking to the high-level ministers there, and they are building so many AI PCs right now. There's tons all over Southeast Asia, right? So of course, what they need in the AI PCs is actually NVIDIA chips, saying the A100s or H100s, right? And what we see that will happen later is that, okay, everyone's just stockpiling like NVIDIA chips, it doesn't matter how much it is, or just get me it. I'm just gonna buy all of it, right? So what's gonna happen, right? So all these AI PCs gonna come up, like sprout up in the next year or two. What will happen is that they actually need applications to run on top of it. Else, like, why is it there? Like, they're gonna lose so much money. So I mean, if you look at the traditional way of, I guess, the money flow, right? It's like an inverted triangle where the money comes in from the application and flows down to hardware, and hardware actually has the best margin, right? But the weird thing right now is that it's kind of like a triangle. All the money is going to hardware, but the application will make it no money, and that's not sustainable. You can't have something that's flowing down from little to big, right? So this triangle actually will invert at some point, and this comes back to 2025. So I think a lot of money, I think VCs are smart enough. They know that AI applications are going to come, and they're going to take all that money from the hardware and go into the software, the application part, and that's what we are looking at right now, right? So exactly, I don't know really about what will happen in blockchain. I just know that people are beginning to become more aware of this, and I mean, in Southeast Asia, it's actually more pro-crypto, I would think, than other places. There's a lot more adoption there. So maybe in finance, I think there's a lot of unbanked in Southeast Asia, and a lot of these neo-banks popping up. Maybe there's places where you can utilize blockchain to make, I don't know, fintech application or something like that. But I mean, definitely I'm keeping an eye on blockchain and see how we can integrate that into AI. I think the main thing is that it needs to be, the market needs to be educated on this stuff, else the big corporates are not going to move fast into it.
Yeah, I'm aligned with most speakers, but I think just more on a practical level, I feel like 2025 is going to be a big year for AI agents in the Web3 space, mainly because that's like the only way that we can really understand and have retail understand it in a very simple and easy way. Like meme coin aside, I think these AI agent frameworks was a great way where a lot of developers just coming into the AI space and trying it out, trying to find some models, adding more infrastructure there. So I think we're going to be using AI agents to showcase different parts of our infrastructure projects and be able to kind of showcase the technology in a way that is more flexible and is more fun for people to participate.
I just have to say, like, everyone knows Donald Trump. Very happy to be here and I'm your fan.
So I think that leaning in on what all of you guys have said so far, I think that 2025 is going to be the year where we see a lot of really, really great innovation in small model AI. I think that we're at the point where you know, we can have these large models that have been trained out and you know, training on the heap and things like that, using you know, millions of cards. And then we need to get to a point where it's easier to, you know, decentralize and have small model inference across, you know, a lot of more consumer grade hardware. And I think that that's where we're going to see some of these agents really start to shine. And the inversion of that triangle, I think, is going to be, you know, this is going to be a big part of it. It's going to be an interesting year, that's for sure. And crypto is going to be a really big part of it.
Cool. Yeah, I think out of the panel guests share so many like cool points about this kind of topic, and also share some maybe the personal overview about this kind of question. So we're talking about AI, right? From traditional finance or to like this kind of crypto worlds. So AI is mostly, I mean, the very big thing in the nearly 10 years. That's for sure one thing. No matter in, I mean, stock performance or in the crypto performance, that's one thing. And another thing, I mean, in the crypto, I can share my story with you guys. Each time when you guys start projects, there will be some problems come to your mind. Your users will ask you, why your price is still the same? You will maybe see my pain is good, my background is good, my project, my solution is good, but your users will still ask you, your price is still the same. But after your price goes up, then you ask them back, so how do you like project? Your project's cool because your price goes up. This kind of scenario happens all the time. What I want to say is that AI is actually the hype in the space. Another thing is that we need to cater to the sentiment about all of the crypto users, no matter whether Web3 or as well as Web2. Because we know so many AI projects get started to put into use in real Web2 case, like Sahara, they got data labeling for Web2 clients as well. We got IO.net also still linear to be powered. We're a traditional company as well. And also we got some of the partners, Sky, they're running the GPU as fighters. So AI is not just for AI, it's just a fundamental kind of type words, but mostly we got so many interesting things combined with AI and maybe DeFi, maybe with scamming. There's so many projects combined together to make another hype. That's point two. We cannot see the problem that when we don't merge them together. That's for this thing. And last thing I want to say is that I think Tiffany also mentioned about the AI moving coin, because we also see today like the AI 16Z also went to another all-time high today. So in this crypto space, we cannot just only focus on building your tech. I know it's important, not only like focus on your products. I mean, how to a good founder always a good trader, but the trader is not based on the technical analysis, it's about sentiment analysis. This also will lead us to build the projects in the future with much more cozy or much more stable pace to know what the users, real users are saying. So yeah, AI is on the hype. I mean, the crypto is on the hype. Let's looking forward to that. Thanks for that.
All right, so this is gonna be our last question, and thank you very much. I personally, so the summary of our personal today, so AI combined with Web3 is gonna be quite interesting part to look at. Also, Donald Trump is gonna be speed up the regulation part, and I think also accelerate the whole innovation part around the crypto and AI. So people should look at the part. I think today I personally really learned a lot. Thank you so much for each panelist joining us, and thank you audience for your passion and listening to us. I think we will be around, and so please stay tuned. And any question you would like to ask, we'll be here. And also Ivan there is gonna be your go-to guy, go-to person. Yes. For t-shirt? Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I hope you guys enjoy, like all the speakers and seriously, outstanding, so good, so good. So yeah, unlimited drinks and food, so guys enjoy. So down the road is all networking time. If you want to talk to speakers, talk to hosts, once again, thanks OORT Tag to host this event, and thank you for all the co-hosts, Compa3 Ventures, Datagram, My Networks, as well as our Chen, please. Let's go get all merchants. Free t-shirts. you.